the Co-OpCast. I am Carter CDC. I'm here with Soy Sauce and the Baron 72. How's it going, guys?
Real good.
Pretty dandy.
Nice. Yeah, we're glad to be back with you guys. We're here to talk about a really interesting topic that we are all pretty hooked on right now. We've been playing it a lot recently. It's Valorant. We're here to talk about Valorant with you guys. If you guys have heard it before, if you haven't heard about it before, hope you guys enjoy this episode because we're really loving this game right now. In terms of announcements, we do have one announcement as far as I know, and that is that we now have a TikTok. So we're trying to get the word spread around, and we know that TikTok is a pretty good source for that. So we're going to try to get more of you guys interested in what we talk about through that social media.
Don't worry, we're not going to be dancing unless you want it.
Yeah, we can do some dancing, do whatever you want. But I just posted a video earlier today that says it has 160 views on it. It's at COOPCAST, so CoopCast, basically. But it's a Co-OpCast, you know us. So expect some videos on there every now and then. We're going to try to get the word around. And yeah, give us a follow, give us a like, spread the word around. Really appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
How's your guys' week been? Anything to announce?
Mine's been pretty stressful. Pretty stressful week.
Yeah, I've been hearing you've been working like all day on homework and stuff.
I'm only taking 8 credits this semester, but it feels like 14. Like it's kind of ridiculous. But no, it's just been a lot of work. I've been getting up at 8 o'clock and basically done with homework by 8 o'clock, like 12-hour, with like a couple hours in between breaks and stuff. But the exciting thing is I got to teach my first actual lesson to actual high schoolers on Friday, and that was actually pretty fun. So,
nice. How'd it go? Like anything's crazy? Just pretty smooth sailing?
It was pretty smooth sailing, I think, for the most part. I think the one thing that was kind of bad was that the kids, since they didn't have their normal teacher, they had me. They felt like they could be a little more rambunctious. And so it was like, guys, calm down just a little bit. Come on, this is for my grade too.
Right?
I need you guys to be good. So I look good.
Like for every sub teacher, basically. They just think it's a free day.
Yeah. They actually did the activity I gave them instead of like how I'd be in high school with the sub. We're just like, screw you, I'm not doing this.
Right.
For me, I was busy with school. I'm taking 13, I might get 12 maybe. And I had a moment of nerdiness, or like, I was watching this TV show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is a comedy cop show, and they had an IT guy come in, like a hacker. He came in because their computer system was getting hacked, and he like gave this like a 2-minute monologue about like, you know, how smart he is, like what he's trying to do on the computer. And after only 3 weeks in my class, I already understood all the terms he used.
Nice.
They've been filling my head. My networking class is super hard. I'm taking a programming, so I'm learning HTML, I'm learning CSS, and then I'm learning networking terms. So I'm trying to learn 3 different languages right now. It's really hard. But like, yeah, he's using all these like acronyms for these terms, and I understood them all, and I explained them all to Stacy. I understood what he was doing on the computer. So I felt pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, it's gotta feel good just to feel like you know what you're doing now. You don't feel like it's all a waste because, that must feel good.
Now you can tell your teacher that you're studying when you're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes. But yeah, that was the only thing. And then been playing a lot of Valorant with you guys, Warzone, and Madden. My 3 games right now.
Yeah.
Carter was we do these on video chat so we can see each other, and Carter was like pointing at the microphone. And if you guys can't tell that I sound way better than I used to, that's the other exciting news is on Friday I also got my mic, and I'm so excited about it.
We're official.
Yeah, we all got some nicer mics ever since we started. When we first made our introduction video, we all had our, cheaper mics that were attached to our headset, and now we got some nicer microphones, so hopefully you guys noticed that. Hopefully our quality improves over the months, because that's our goal. We just want to keep improving, keep making better quality episodes for you guys. Because I don't know about you guys, I'm having a blast doing this. I've been having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And our plans are to keep this thing rolling, keep our episodes every week, and, go further than what we're doing right now. Just kind of an announcement already. We're going to talk about Valorant, but we're also planning on uploading a Valorant video on our channel as well within this next week. So expect that, and we just want you to expect stuff from us every week. We want to just keep this thing rolling. We're really excited about this whole project.
Yep.
And thank you all who are listening and who have been listening every week. We really appreciate you guys.
Bless you.
With that being said, you guys want to jump into the topic?
Oh yeah.
Well, I just had one question that I thought would be really good at the beginning, just to kind of get them into it. But
Please
first,
hit me.
does somebody want to explain kind of what Valorant is before we jump into that question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important that we let you guys all know what Valorant's all about.
Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, from an outside perspective, Valorant looks like such a simple game. You see there's like 8 agents to choose from, and then there's literally only 3 game modes with only 4 maps. So on the outside, people, when they look at the game, they're probably like, this is such a basic game, there's not much to it. But in the details of the game, in the simple, competitive, unrated game modes, there's a lot to explain. So I think Carter, you'd probably be the best at it since you've had so much time.
Okay. So for those of you listening who don't have a PC, Valorant's not available on console yet. I don't know if there's any plans for it to be on console, but it's strictly on PC right now. But if you've played Call of Duty, I'm sure you've played Search and Destroy, where you plant the bomb and defuse the bomb. I'm sure you've heard of Counter-Strike, which has been out for decades. And Valorant is pretty similar to that kind of game mode. If you've heard of Overwatch, you know that there's a lot of characters that have different abilities, different guns, and it's a whole different kit, whole different setup for each character. For Valorant, you're sharing the same guns, the same weapons, but you have different abilities depending on your character. So the game mode, like Search and Destroy, where you plant and defuse a bomb, it's the same as Valorant, where you start off on one side where you have to pick one of 2 different locations on the map. And sometimes there's 3 different locations. So you take your team and you take the bomb that you have, which is called the spike, and you have to plant it at a specific location on the map, which takes about 40 to 45 seconds to explode. And to win the round, you have to either make that bomb explode or kill everyone on the other team. And after that happens, you get a point. If you win, you don't get a point. If you lose, the other team gets the point. And that keeps going on until that half is over. And when the half is over, you switch sides, and now you have to defend those 2 sites from the enemy team planting the bomb on that site. Was that pretty clear?
I think it's pretty good. It's just a basic 5-on-5. You have some superpowers kind of thing that helps you out, and try to kill the other team. That's basically it.
Yeah. And those abilities, they don't. Most of them don't. You don't want to rely on those abilities to kill the other team. They're all there to basically assist you to kill the other team. You really have to rely on your gun to kill the other team.
Unless your name is Raze, but we don't talk about it.
Right.
I saw a short little description of it that I liked. It was just an FPS shooter, 5-on-5, economy-based, strategic. As you get kills and win rounds, you're getting more money, which is giving your team a boost over the other team, because through your economy is how you get better guns. So it's just strategic economy FPS.
Right.
I like that a lot.
You always have to keep that in your mind when you play, because if you down an enemy player, you can take their weapon that is more expensive, more valuable than yours, which will boost your team's economy. Therefore, you don't have to buy another weapon the next round. You could up the value of your gun, and you could buy your teammate a gun and just keep your economy higher than the enemy team, which will therefore give you a higher advantage over the other team. Mm-hmm. Because the other team would only be able to afford something really small, something that's not very powerful. So it's all about keeping your advantage higher than the other team, always giving them that pressure. And I love the strategy with these kind of games. I was a big Counter-Strike fan, and then when Valorant came out, I basically dropped Counter-Strike. Like the week that it came out, I was like, I'm done. And I haven't looked back really. You guys, we've all played Counter-Strike now and then, maybe once or twice the past 6 months. But when we played it, right, we played it quite a bit more than I think. But when we played it, we liked it to go back, but then, we go back to Valorant.
Yeah.
And that's just how we are. I know there's still Counter-Strike fans out there that are diehard Counter-Strike fans, and I thought that's how I was going to be, but I've moved on to Valorant.
Oh yeah.
So,
For
Colin, what was your question?
So
I feel like we've explained it.
I think the first question we should go over is what each of us think our own mains are and why we like playing them. By what I mean by main is the main character you like to play in the game, because I think there's 13 or 14 of them, and I don't like to play like 5 of them because I'm bad with them. So like, I don't know. You guys want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'd say my 2 mains right now, and Carter and Sawyer know this easily because they're the only 2 I really play, is between Omen and Breach. And I think what I really like about Omen is I could be sneaky, and like he has abilities to help him move around the map really fast by teleporting, and he also has these smokes that can hide him. And I like it because I can be sneaky and get like lurking picks, lurking kills when the enemies aren't expecting it. And then my other one is Breach, and I really like Breach because everything about him is shooting things through the wall and then peeking that corner that you just shot through and being super aggressive the whole time. And so those are my 2 playstyles that I really like to do. So I don't know.
I can play like most of the agents. I have not played Raze very much, or Cypher, but I've played it a lot since the beta. But I'd have to give the edge to Viper right now. I've really gotten into her. I love how she can create a wall that goes a very long distance in the map, so you can create a lot of cover for your team. And you can split a site. So a bomb site usually has different views that the enemy team can shoot you as you're planning it. And she's really good at completely splitting that site to block cover. And you can use that to your advantage if you know how to, by like constantly moving between the walls and like looking around. And then, so I love her ability to cover, area, because she also has a smoke ability that she can smoke an area and like deploy it and undeploy it and bring it back up. And because most smokes, it's like a one-time use. And then also she has a poison orb that I can put in an alleyway that it hurts the enemy team a lot and it stops them from moving in. So I can kind of give us some time. And then last thing, her ult, she can create a huge smoke cloud. We can all hide inside of it and kind of get some kills that way. So she's really fun. She's able to cover a lot of visibility and whatnot. She's my little precious girl.
So for Valorant, each agent, each character is categorized is in a different category. So the one that I play a lot lately is Cypher and Reyna. So Cypher is a sentinel and Reyna is a duelist. So Cypher as a sentinel is giving his team the advantage of knowing where the enemy team is. So he can place a camera somewhere close by, up on the wall, somewhere where he can't really reach, and then you can access that camera's view and see where the enemy team is. And if you left click on someone, it'll shoot a dart at them, which will trigger them. It'll highlight that their body through walls. And they have to pull the dart out of their body by holding F, and it will take about 3 seconds to do that. So they have to stand still for quite a while to do that, which makes them a really easy target. And he can place these tripwires, which will be triggered if the enemy team walks over it, which will highlight them. It will pretty much tether them to it. And if they don't shoot the tripwire and destroy it within a few seconds, it'll blow up and stun them, and therefore still continue to highlight them, which will make them a super easy target. And his ultimate is awesome because if you kill an enemy player, you can use your ult on their dead body, and it will show you where the rest of the team is that's still alive, which will tell you and the whole team, pretty much the direction where the enemy team is going. If they decided to turn around and go back towards a different site, or if they're still here trying to take over the site that you're at, it's just really helpful. And I've noticed it pretty much change the tide of a round by using that ult, or by finding someone and scaring them off by triggering them with the camera, because then they're scared to push and then they kind of fall back, and it allows the team to prepare a lot more in advance than the enemy team. So I really love that.
He's a master of intel. If you want intel, he's your guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love having a Cypher on your team.
Yeah, it's just so fun being able to help your team in that way.
Mhm.
And I've been playing Reyna a lot lately, and she's a duelist, which means that she can do a lot of damage and she can really rack up a lot of kills for your team. She can pretty much heal herself back up to full life after every kill if you want to, or you can decide to become invincible and kind of take cover for a few seconds while the rest of the team is shooting at you. And she can throw an eyeball that floats up in the air that can blind anyone that can see it for a few seconds, and the only way that they can stop that is if they shoot the eyeball down. But they have to aim up at the eyeball and shoot it while you can just peek over and kill them while they're shooting the eyeball, which is just so messed up.
You don't see it happen very often where people actually shoot the eyeball. I swear.
Yeah.
You think it happened more often.
Well, I feel like every time I try to, you hear the gunshots as a Reyna, and the Reyna just peeks around the corner and blasts my head off.
So you just want to randomly shoot to try to hopefully get her.
That or get back around cover. Like,
most of the time you do that just so that they don't push. They take cover. Yeah. And you have a second eye that you can use after they push and decide to get onto site.
True. So, the follow-up question with that, say, since we only have 3 players with us most of the time, I think it'd be cool to speculate, like, if we had 2 more teammates, what we'd like them to play with our mains. Like, and make a good team out of it. So what are you guys' opinions on what good characters to match with our characters?
I always appreciate having a Brimstone on our team. So Brimstone can throw a lot of smokes down onto the map, which can really take away a lot of view from the other team. It really helps them not be able to see you around the corner and get picks. And I'd really like to have a Brimstone all the time.
Yeah.
If I could pick from any of them.
Yeah. And then we don't have healers on our team, so I don't know. I always love to have a Sage with her ult. And then, I don't know, I just think Sage is really good mixed abilities. With her slow orb, she can stop people from pushing. She can put a wall to give us cover. She can heal us, and then she can heal herself. And her ult, she can revive someone, which completely turns a match. When a Sage is played right, I like to see when people play it. I just have never been able to master her. But I did main her for a while. Just because I wanted that.
Yeah. It's probably the most annoying ult to go against. Whenever we're playing and there's only like 2 of us left and there's 2 people on the enemy team, and all of a sudden you hear Sage using her ult, and all of a sudden there's 3 people on the enemy team now. It's just a bad feeling that I get. It's like, oh, now I have to deal with another person.
Yeah, for sure. I think what would be cool to have would be another reliable duelist, somebody that is always going to be good at getting those kills, because like I feel like every time us 3 get in a match, we always have somebody that insta-locks a duelist, and we have 1 duelist out of all our mains, that's Carter's Reyna, but there's always somebody that locks a Raze or locks a Jet or locks a Phoenix like right away, and like then they
outfrag them.
Yeah, and they suck. They're like 1 in 14. It's like,
yeah,
I wish we just had a reliable duelist that could be able to be the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like,
every time that happens, I always tell you guys, like, everyone wants to be a pitcher on the baseball team. Everyone wants to be the star, because apparently being a duelist is like the cool role or whatever. But you can't all, like, I played a game recently where all 5 of us were duelists, and it was the worst experience because none of us could do anything. We couldn't do anything. There's no smokes. There's nothing you can flash with, really. I mean, it wasn't good.
You can't create cover and you can't create advantage. Like, yeah, you might be able to be good on attacking side, but like then defense, you have nothing at all. So
I like to relate it to football. I was thinking about Counter-Strike, and mainly Valorant is more like it, because one of my favorite things about football is you're able to bring many different types of people together to fulfill your goal. You're going to need stronger, bigger men who can block and do that role. You need skinny, faster guys who can catch. We're all that role. You need guys who have good hands who can catch. You need guys who can throw the ball. None of the professional football players can really succeed at other positions, but you need all those positions together to succeed. and that's kind of how Valorant is, and that's why I love it. In terms of a video game, it's got perfect teamwork cohesion where you need, like your linemen who put down coverage and they protect your way into a site. You need people who can flash people, blind them. You need quick people like Jet who can jump up and get kills. It's just a perfect harmony of teamwork that when you have that teamwork where everyone's talking, everyone's fulfilling their roles. We have 2 duelists. We have someone who can smoke. We have a sentinel like Cypher who can give us intel. When you have a perfect cohesion of people who are working together, it just feels magical. Like it's a different feeling that you won't experience in another video game because no other video game has that type of teamwork like FPS that I've played. Call of Duty is really fun and fast paced, but it doesn't give you that teamwork that I crave when I play Valorant. This is what I'm trying. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You guys agree?
There's teamwork with Call of Duty and Counter-Strike, but you all have the same exact things. Whereas and you all have the same you're all running backs basically in your analogy. Whereas in Valorant, everybody has a specific role that helps the team.
Yeah, it takes CS:GO's teamwork, takes it to another level with the abilities, and that's why I know we're going to talk about how this game differs from CS:GO because CS:GO is a huge fan base and a lot of people know about it. But that's one of my things that I noticed that I feel like more of a team on Valorant for those reasons.
No, I couldn't have said it any better. You said it perfectly, Sawyer. It's just that it's the perfect sweet spot of a game that I love. I love the competitive nature of it. I love the teamwork aspect of it. I enjoyed Call of Duty the month that I played it with you guys. But I don't see myself going back to it, really. I had my fill of it, which is I don't know. A lot of people that play Call of Duty, they play it and then they kind of stop. But there's that thing about Valorant that brings me back to it all the time. And it's that teamwork that I love because I don't feel teamwork on Call of Duty at all, really. With Search and Destroy, I can't get over any strategy. I don't see how we can do any strategy with that. It's just oh, good luck. Hope you get your frag.
Seriously.
I was a big fan of Counter-Strike, which we'll talk about. And we can probably kind of go into that right now, where I helped you guys get into Counter-Strike. I coached you guys, trained you guys. I'm not a great, amazing Counter-Strike player, but I loved it so much, and I wanted you guys to get into it. So we spent time.
Don't be nice about it. You're good. You can say it. You were dang good.
Let's just say it was the only game I really played back then. So I did put time into it, and I wanted to play with you guys. I didn't want to play alone with random people because it's always a risk. Even with Valorant, it's always a risk. Queuing up with random people, like you guys said, they instant lock their character and they don't perform with that character. And they don't talk either. They don't have a microphone.
Which I don't get in this day and age. In this day and age, you can go buy an Xbox headset for $25. Just go get a simple mic so you can say, "Hey, watch out behind you."
Yeah, instead of typing it and then sending it after the person's dead.
Yeah.
It's too late. Anyway, Counter-Strike. It is the same concept with a bomb plant defusal game mode, but it's just outdated in my opinion now. It came out in 2012, Global Offensive, that version. And I won't go back to it until they come out with the new one. Because Valorant took what the fans of Counter-Strike wanted and added it to their game. Like the tick servers, they wanted that updated, which Valorant has, but Counter-Strike still hasn't. I mean, just a whole overhaul of an update. That's what Counter-Strike needs.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I always feel like such a cardboard box when I'm playing Counter-Strike. I feel like I'm just very, very clunky when I'm moving. And it was fun to be able to get the teamwork aspect in it before Valorant came out. But you just always felt like I couldn't move right. I couldn't look around the map. I couldn't use my feet like you would normally use your feet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's true. I mean, I don't feel like Valorant is, if you compare it to other shooters, I don't feel like it's that smooth either. I mean, I think that's on purpose, right? But it's definitely not, you don't feel bad playing it. To me, I consider Shroud kind of, me and Colin were talking about the senpai of these games. He's just such a master of it. I'd watch him to like improve my skills because there's so many little details that you can use to get better. He notices the main difference that are going to catch a lot of people's eyes, and his eyes was the just the way the game looks. And he thinks Valorant will be bigger than Counter-Strike. He says Valorant's title is much more accessible for new players, and it's much more pleasing to the eye. It also has worth noting that Valorant will most likely conquer the Asian markets, which Counter-Strike has failed to do. You know, it has that kind of anime vibe to it a little bit, which will significantly increase the number of its customers. But like we were saying, I think it's that pleasing to the eye. The first thing my wife said when she saw me playing it was like, "Oh, that okay." The reason why she said it is because right before I was playing Gears of War, which Gears of War is not very pleasing to the eye.
It's very good.
Not at all. But then when I switched to Valorant, she's like, "Oh, that game just looks very crisp and nice." And I was like, "Yeah, it is." Which I think that's just going to pull people over to it. And then on top of it with the abilities.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. Even my wife said that. She was like, "Wow, that looks really good. That game looks awesome." Because she's been used to seeing me play Counter-Strike. I've been very pleased with what Valorant has given me. And they've been good with updates too.
I just want to say, I feel like people who are, because like when I looked at Counter-Strike pre-knowing about what the game was like, when I just looked at it from the outside perspective, Carter can attest to this, I thought it looked super slow, super boring, which I know if I hadn't played Counter-Strike, if I saw a Valorant gameplay, I'll probably think the same way. Because right, I was used to like Halo, Call of Duty, where it's also 5v5, but you're also on a small map, but you're moving quickly. It's very like fast paced, and I honestly wouldn't be pulled to it without you forcing me to play Counter-Strike. And I just wanted to say that for the reasons that we've said, it's a completely different game. You get very different experience from it, but it's worth it. Don't watch some gameplay, think it looks slow compared to Call of Duty, and then don't try it out because it's free. You might as well just try it out. It's a whole new realm of shooter, but that's all I want to say.
That's the biggest thing I notice from new players that play Counter-Strike and Valorant is they get too antsy. They want to get right into the action and they just push right to the enemy right away and they die instantly, and they don't understand that yet, where it's a very, very patience-oriented game where you have to sit there and wait for like 30 seconds before there's really any action.
It's always funny to have to say to people, sit in the corner, watch your spot. Like, don't push.
Because if you move quickly, you can get to an enemy player in like 3 seconds if you just immediately push. The maps are small, for those who don't know. So people are tempted to just... Because I know my first time playing this type of game, I did the same thing.
Well, it's like, there's 5 people right there. I want to go there and kill all 5 of them. And it's like, well, you might get yourself. One of them, but you're going to die. So talking about updates and talking about like Valorant as a whole, do you guys think the game is balanced how it is now? And second, do you think periodically adding characters is a good thing for the game? Because we talked about how Reyna has her eye, and I sometimes feel like her eye is a little OP, overpowered. And sometimes I feel like some of the balance in the game throws it off, where it's only these 5 players that you can play on this map. And if you don't use those 5, you're not using the optimum team.
I don't think the game can ever be perfectly balanced with that many characters coming out that often, with the maps and the very different areas that can have opportunities and different circumstances happen. But I think that it is balanced enough to be a non-broken game. You can say that Reyna is overpowered with that ability, but it does cost her 400 credits to have those 2 eyes, the 2 flashes. And that's pretty heavy. And you can counter those pretty easily if you're positioned in a correct place. Because if you're standing out in the open by yourself and you have nowhere to take cover, that's your fault if you die. Because the eye only lasts about 2.5 seconds. So I would say it's balanced, but it will never be completely balanced, if that makes sense. It will never be perfect because those characters that come out, those agents, I think they are good for the game. I think they do drive customers to the game. I think they keep the game relevant. If they stop doing that, I think a lot of people would be upset, and I would be upset as well because I'm big for that kind of game, especially a game like Valorant where they need that variety because Counter-Strike doesn't need it because they don't have abilities. So
Exactly.
I think Valorant is heading in the direction that will give them success.
Long-term success. That's the thing that, right? CS:GO, nothing changed. I mean, they could change the maps, right? And but with Valorant, like, is it every 2 months a new agent?
Like a new battle pass, which
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a new agent every time. I'd have to look it up.
Isn't Sky relatively new?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Koru just came out. So
Yoru, yeah.
Sorry, I don't play him, so I don't know his name.
But yeah, for me to answer, I feel like it's pretty balanced. In Call of Duty, in Warzone, every single person would use the DMR, and every single person used the MAC-10. Like, it was obviously OP, and every single person used it. With Valorant, I don't see that happening. I think every match has been different with different agents. We always use I feel like every gun is good and it's worth the economy it's worth. I do think the op's a little expensive. I think they could bring it down. 5,000 is a lot to give up.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, but I don't see everyone using one thing. I don't see the meta like controlling everybody to, like, every team has to have this agent, or every team, like, you always have to buy the Phantom because it's just better than every gun. I don't see that happening. So I don't see it.
Gotcha.
But if you guys think so.
No, I agree that the game's pretty good balanced and that the characters are good. And like, I just wanted to hear your opinions on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I did read somewhere while I was preparing for this episode, that they're thinking of getting 50 to 60 characters that's where they want to go, is getting to like Dota levels of how many characters.
Well, they are Riot. It is Riot. They do own League of Legends.
They should just bring League of Legends characters over. Because some of them are pretty cool.
Like this article I read, they're trying to do 5 or 6 per like specialty, like 5 or 6 duelists, 5 or 6. I don't know the names of all of them. Yeah. I'm probably the least. So
that's cool though. That's exciting. 50 agents.
But I don't know how true it is. It's just something I read. So
no, it's good that they have those updates. It'll keep the game very relevant.
What do you think the next type is going to be? Do you think the next one's going to be a duelist, a controller? Which one do you think?
I pray it's not a duelist. I think, aren't there only 2 initiators right now?
I don't know.
If I had to put money, I'd say it's initiator.
Yep, I would say it is initiator as well. Because they just had Killjoy, who's a sentinel, and then Sky, who is a controller?
Sky is actually, she might be initiator. Honestly.
Yeah. Right.
Because her birds. There's 3 initiators: Sky, Breach, and Sova. I think it's controller who is lacking. There's 3 of them: Omen, Brimstone, and Viper. But yeah.
Well, any agent they bring out, I'll be happy with.
Oh yeah.
And of course, there might be some game-breaking problems when it first comes out. People might be overreacting to some of their abilities, but it's really quick how used you get to having a new agent in the game. There's been a lot of new agents that have come out, and a lot of people say that this character's broken, and they really don't change much about that agent. And over time, you just get used to what their abilities are. You're just not used to it. They thought that Killjoy was just completely overpowered with her turret. But really, the turret doesn't do anything that much. And they think that her ult, which basically expands a gigantic orb that will stun everyone inside of it after a certain amount of seconds, it's really easy to get out of. And it just, people kind of freak out when the new content comes out and they think that it's going to break the game. But this is what Valorant needs. Valorant needs change. It needs constant updating, and it needs to stay relevant over other shooters because people will pay money for more content.
Yeah,
because it is a free game.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I remember when Yoru first came out, and we thought he was broken because he could throw his like teleport orb and then like throw his walk a different direction and then walk in a different direction, and then he teleports behind the whole team. But like, I feel like the teleport orb moves so slow and it's so obvious when it moves by that it's like very risky to use it.
I'm interested when this game reaches, because I'm assuming it's going to reach a point where it's like Overwatch, where it has that many agents, like Overwatch has. I'm interested if it's going to be harder, because right now we only have to deal with 8 to 10, and like we know all of their abilities. But like once we start reaching that point where there's that many, are we going to be thrown off by what, because right now in our heads, when we know they have these agents, we kind of like, if there's a Euro on the team, you kind of expect false steps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's already at that point kind of where you look at the enemy team and you can say, okay, there's a Cypher on that team. I need to be aware that there's going to be cameras around.
Yeah.
Or there's a Euro. I need to look out for his teleport orb. It's starting to kind of get in that sense. But I totally understand what you're saying. And it just depends on how much you play the game. Because if you take a year break from the game and you come back, there's going to be like 5 new agents. And that's really going to throw you off. So it's going to take a lot of time for players to stay into the game so that they can be on top of it. Because if they don't know a lot of agent abilities, it's going to throw them off so hard.
Yeah.
Especially with Valorant, because of Counter-Strike, you can kind of take a break and come back and nothing's really changed. Maybe some small minor tweaks within the guns have changed, or the maps. Sometimes the map might change a certain bit, but it's fairly the same game. But when you add a totally new character to the game with 4 abilities, it can change the whole game.
Yeah.
And so it's up to you to stay on top of knowing all the information you need to know.
This isn't a bash on Riot, but like the way I picture how they made this game is they're thinking about how to create a new game, like what game should we make, and they just thought of Overwatch and Counter-Strike, and these 2 games are popular, let's just combine them, because that's literally what it is. It feels like. So what do you guys think makes this game original that will pull people to it?
I would say there's nothing wrong with combining a game like Overwatch and Counter-Strike. First of all, they're both shooter games. So you can't really say that they're too similar that they should be sued or something. Because first of all, with Overwatch, each character has a different gun. You can't share similar guns. They have unique guns and abilities. Whereas Valorant, everyone shares the same guns. With Counter-Strike, it's just the guns only. And everyone has the same guns, same movement, everything. So it's honestly a perfect, amazing, genius idea for Riot to make Valorant. I think there's people that love both games. Maybe there's some people that like one game over the other for various reasons. And so Valorant decided to have both, the best of both worlds. And that's kind of where I love it. That's the sweet spot for me. And I think it's unique on its own just for that reason, that it has those abilities with the same guns. So it is fair in a sense. As long as you work as a team and you pick the right characters, it is a fair game. There's no unfairness to it because everyone has their ultimates. It may seem unfair during a certain round where someone's ultimate completely destroys the round, like your smoke, Sawyer, as a Viper. You might think like, oh, that's broken, that's so dumb. But then the next round, you might have an ult that will bring in the win for the next round on your team. And so it all depends on how you use your abilities and your guns and everything. I think it's a very unique game on its own for that reason.
Yeah.
What brought me into Valorant, the very hard and very wanting to play it all the time, is how much it's kind of like a puzzle and how much the different characters like fit together. Yeah, you might have a couple games with the same like setup with the same 5 characters on your team, but most games you're getting 1 or 2 different changes in your setup, and then that little puzzle to figure out how to use those 2 or 3 other characters to make your game go smooth and to make you win. Like, I think that's the cooler part of the teamwork that's better than like Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, Overwatch, is because it is a puzzle within itself to figure out how those characters mesh.
That's true. It's cool. And looking to the future, when we have 50 different agents, every single game you play is going to be so different from the next, which is what I'm excited about. Every team's going to be different, unless there's a meta where like only these 5 agents are the best, But I don't expect that to happen.
Okay. And to add on to you, Colin, when you say it's like a puzzle, I totally agree, because on Counter-Strike, when you start a round, both teams start from their spawn position and immediately run towards where they want to go when the timer starts. With Valorant, the defending team has so much room to prepare against the attacking team. So it is like a puzzle with your different abilities. Like my Cypher, I can set up different traps around the site and prepare for the team before the round starts, so that they can try to solve my puzzle while I'm trying to keep them from coming. It's all just like a gigantic puzzle, and it just makes it so much more competitive for me.
Yeah.
Puzzle with the brain.
The thing I wanted to bring up that I feel like Riot has been, I feel like the thing that Riot is pretty unique with is their cosmetics. I think they're doing different things with guns that we haven't seen before in FPSs, and also there's like some animations that the guns do that I think are really cool and kind of bring some different color to the game. That makes it exciting to see what new guns they make up, because they're all really different and cool.
Although this battle pass is straight doo-doo.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I got it, but whatever.
Yeah, I do have to say they have really good skins. They are more expensive than Counter-Strike, but the one thing that I do miss from Counter-Strike is the ability to resell the skins that you get.
Yeah.
Because I did collect a lot of skins on Counter-Strike because it was connected through Steam. So I have eventually ended up selling all the skins I got, and I could purchase other games through the value of the skin that I had. So when I got a VR, I was able to buy like 6 games just because I sold a couple skins that I had, and I used that value and I brought it to a different thing. But with Valorant, the skins that you get, you're stuck with them. You can't do anything else with them. And I could tell you were going to ask me if you could end up reselling them later.
No, do you think Valorant will change it to do that? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so, because Valorant isn't on, like, Riot doesn't have its own like game library, whatever you call it, like Steam.
Oh, I see.
Valorant or Counter-Strike is a Valve game. It is owned by Steam. It's not like it's another company that's under Steam.
I didn't know that.
So it's easy for them to be able to sell the skins and use that Steam wallet money. And you can't take the Steam wallet money and put it into your bank account. You have to keep it within Steam. So it's easy for them to just move that money around wherever you want it. So I don't think Valorant you'll be able to do that. You might be able to like sell it and get credits that are like half as much as you paid for. I don't know. Maybe. But I don't think it'll happen very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I wish.
No.
But they are very unique compared to Counter-Strike skins. A Counter-Strike skin is basically just the gun with a paint over it. With Valorant skins, the actual gun changes shape. And it's way more unique looking than just kind of a paint over. But yeah, there's ups and downs for both sides, and I'm not going to argue which one's better.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember when this game came out, when it was in beta, there was a lot of fear of, because with I'll explain a little bit. Counter-Strike to me feels like it's 100% skill-based. There's no other factors to it. It's if you're good at, because in the game it's very strategic how you shoot, the way you shoot at different distances and whatnot, and it feels like it's based on your skill and it's how good you're gonna do. And that when this game came out, I know there's a lot of people who love CS:GO who are fearful that the agent's abilities were going to take over some of that skill and like make it a little more like 70% skill, 30% your ability. And I'm curious, as we are all CS:GO players, how you've seen that come to fruition, if it's true or not, and what you think about it.
I think it's sort of true because, an ult can change around. There's no lying about that. Like Breach's ult, being able to shockwave a whole site, make it so that you stun 3 people, take over the site. It's a 5v2 now.
It's over.
Yeah, but I also think that comes in with the puzzle part of the game. Like because you can see who has their ults at the top, and Breach has their ult. Make sure that you guys are spread out and like in a wide enough area so that you can, if you do get stunned by it, hopefully only one of you gets stunned by it. So
Exactly.
That's a cool point. I never thought about that. I love this podcast, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
you
agree.
you can tell like exactly like what's gonna happen. Saying like again a lot. You can tell what's gonna happen by what's the surrounding area and the surrounding information you have, and you have to use that information in the puzzle of the game. Because if you don't,
So what you're saying is you're not losing player skill. It's like it's adding more skill because you have to become more aware of the situation because the game gives you that information. They let you know the amount of economy the team has. They let you know the ults, and you have to prepare for their attacks. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So it takes away some gun skill, but it adds some like player knowledge and
Game sense.
like, game
Yeah,
sense.
game sense.
Yeah, for me, I would agree with you guys too. None of the abilities make your aim better. You could still suck at your aiming and still lose, even though you use an ultimate. But yeah, the game sense is a big must for this game. If you see the bomb planted at a specific location and you know that there's a certain type of agent left that's still alive that you're going against, you need to know where they might be hiding with the abilities that they have. Like for Sova, for example, the character Sova can shoot through walls. And if you know that the bomb's planted at a certain place and you don't see where he is, you might try checking to check defusing the bomb, making a sound, and see if you can trigger his ult so he can shoot through the wall and try to get you. That way, he's far away and he's trying to stay away from you so he can shoot through you with the wall. So you kind of have to figure out what agent you're up against, what abilities they have. You have to know their abilities. You have to know where they might be hiding based on their abilities. It's a big game sense game. But it does require good aim as well.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So I would say it is a skill-based game. You can't just automatically win if you ultimate with Brimstone's ability with the big laser down from the sky. If you put that on the site where the bomb is, it's not going to guarantee you a win. It might if the time is almost up with the bomb, but that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get a win. That person on the enemy team might be hunting you down instead of going after the bomb, and you won't even realize it, and he'll just take you out right away and then go defuse it. You have no way of knowing.
But it's also Brimstone's game sense to know, hey, there's only 10 seconds left. If I put my ult down on it, it's over.
Yep.
Like, we'll win it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It does require that knowledge, for sure.
Because on CSGO, the only thing you could do there was a Molotov on the bomb, right?
Yeah.
That was your...
That was your giant satellite laser with a little Molotov cocktail.
No, but Counter-Strike will always have a place in my heart. And it might be a bigger thing in my life later if they come out with another game, but right now it's just a memory for me. Valorant has taken over that part of me.
Yeah, I like going back to Counter-Strike and just kind of memeing it because it's like we've spent so many hours
it's
on
still fun.
Yeah, it's good trip down memory lane.
Mm-hmm.
If a new CSGO comes out, do you think they could retake Valorant, or what do you guys think? What changes would they have to make it kind of on par?
I don't think they should change much. I don't think they should try to add abilities and crap like that. They need to keep it Counter-Strike, which they've done with all their games, and I'm confident they will keep it a Counter-Strike game. And people who like that game mode will go and play Counter-Strike. There's people that don't like abilities and things like that, and they will stick with Counter-Strike, and that's why they continue to stick with it. So there's a fan base for Counter-Strike and a fan base for Valorant, and I don't think Counter-Strike needs to be worried about being ran out of business. Taken over. But can I just tell you guys how happy and satisfied I am playing Valorant compared to some Battle Royale game? I know you love Warzone, Sawyer,
I love it. Yeah.
But most Battle Royale games just kind of lose touch after a while. But I can tell Warzone is different. But it is nice being back into a Valorant type of game.
I feel like I'm craving that teamwork, and Warzone gives that to me. I don't get that from a Call of Duty match, which I don't hate on either. I'll never hate on either because they both have a place in my world. I'll always want to just like go guns out and go shoot, die 20 times and kill 40 people. That'll always be fun. But I'll always crave the other side of it. And I feel like Warzone kind of gives me that Call of Duty teamwork vibe I get because I love playing with my brothers. And I've played with you guys a little bit Warzone, but we work together. We're trying to get the win. We're playing slow. Just it's kind of like a Valorant game and CS:GO game, with Call of Duty. I mean, it's not obviously not similar, but it gives me that vibe I love. Playing slow and
that's the vibe I go for, because even if I didn't get a single in that round, and I didn't even see an enemy player, I am still satisfied with the teamwork that we had of hearing you guys call out where the enemy is and the other teammates rushing and getting to a position to take those enemies out. It's just, it's like a sport. Like you said, it's like football. It all meshes together into a play, and I love it how each round is almost like a play, where there's space in between each
Run
play.
this play.
Exactly, and every play is either a point or no point.
Yeah.
So, I'm a big fan.
All right. Well, do you guys want to hear some interesting facts about professional Valorant, the North American League, like the players they use?
Yeah, I've actually never really looked into like the esport of Valorant.
Yeah, I didn't look into it until before this episode when I was curious about it, so I looked it up. So who do you guys think? This is the only one I'm going to ask you who you think, but who do you think is the most common character that the professionals use in North America?
Jet.
Yeah,
Jet?
I was going to say Jet, too.
Jet for sure.
It's not.
Oh, what? Viper. Just kidding. Not her. She's last, probably.
Omen.
Really?
He's
Easy as well.
97% of games out of 130 North American games. Omen was used. 97. So I just thought that was interesting. That
is
out of the 130 games, Omen was used in like 127 or 125 of them. The second place.
I can see that.
Yeah, for sure. The second place was Jet at 83, so you guys are close. And then Sova at 73%. Raze was fourth at 53% of the games, and Phoenix at 51% of the games. And then they had an honorable mention because one team used this character like 95% of the time and was really successful this year with Killjoy. So Killjoy was used 28% of the games, and that team that used it was really good with her. And then the rest of them were used less than 25% of the time.
The only one I'm kind of surprised is Raze. But I could see why she's good. She can throw a grenade in to move people out of an area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. That's the only one I'm surprised.
I'd be interested to see what the statistics are once there's like 30 characters.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll just be a way smaller percentage, hopefully.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, so I brought it up.
So do you guys want to give Valorant like a rating out of 10 of what you think it is compared to other type of games like it?
Yeah, I like how you said that, kind of give it that scope so it's not compared to every other game.
I don't want to be the first one to throw out a number because
I'll be the first to say a number. I have no problems with it, really. The only problem, I guess, is I don't know how it compares to other games, but it seems like you can't really play with other players from other servers. There's a guy from the East Coast, and it just wouldn't work. So I feel like you are kind of locked to a small server-based population of people, but it hasn't been like a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it is about a 9 out of 10 of a game for me. It's a solid, smooth, very good performing, like no bugs game that I've played in a long time.
Mm-hmm. So looking at the reviews from GameSpot, Metacritic, and IGN, they actually go up in cascading. So GameSpot gives it 7, Metacritic gives it 8, and IGN gives it a 9. I find myself kind of like a 8.5-ish area. I don't find very many problems either. I think it's very well made. I would recommend it to any person because it's free to play, which gives it a lot of boost in my game, in my score. I just think right now it's the only reason why it wouldn't be higher is just it seems they're still trying to grow it up, and I feel like give it a year or two, I I would re-rank it and probably give it a 9, a 9.5, because then you'll be able to have more scope of agents, more maps. It's an up and comer. But I know it's going to be a nearly flawless game. And I think in the future when we got more scope to attack from. But right now, 8.5.
And before you say yours, Colin, I would have to say a lot of people complain that there's not a lot of maps on Valorant, but you have to take into account all the different abilities that every agent has and integrate that into the coding for each map. It's going to be a while before we get a lot more maps. And I'd rather get more agents right now than more maps, have them work on agents, and then have them work on maps later.
Just stop giving us a cent and icebox.
Yeah.
Please stop giving us a cent and icebox.
We didn't talk about that.
It's okay. It just feels like 90% of our games are on those two maps. So, do you guys want me to give my ranking?
Yep. Hit it.
A 2. Just kidding. I'd have to honestly put it at a 7.5 to an 8. Like, if I'm going to be honest with myself, because the only time that I really, really want to play the game is when you two are on, or when I have friends on it. It's not a game that like it is a game that here and there I want to play alone, or I want to just get on and play, but it's not a game that I'm running to play every single day. It's a game that I'm jumping on because my friends are on it, and it is a really, really fun game, and it is a really, really polished game, and it's a really, really amazing game altogether. But for me personally, it just hits that 7.58.
Right.
Understandable. So I'm kind of in your spot, in your space too. I don't find myself rushing to play it by myself either. I love to play it with you guys though. Like,
for sure.
With you guys, it's awesome. It's perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. We got a 7.5. We got a 8.5. We got a
9.
9.
I think it's ranked solidly from the Co-OpCast in the 8.5.
Yep.
Stamp that on the thumbnail.
Stamp it.
And
I hope we'll rank every game we talk about in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, stamp it. Thanks for listening to the episode. Glad to have you here. We hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and like to our content. We are grateful for the Co-op crew and all you guys do for the general chat, posts, and whatnot. We look forward to our Valorant video coming out this weekend. Look forward to that. Not necessarily this weekend, but sometime this week. And just have a finger-licking good day.
Oh, I love that. Thanks for watching, guys.
Deuces.